Who do I have winning the Arnold Classic after prejudging, Samson or Hadi? In the front double biceps, we can see what sets them apart really. Samson is a beautiful specimen, man. I'm becoming a fan at this point. This slightly tilted way of hitting the pose suits him so much better. I think he could be challenging Andrew Jack with the wow factor in this pose now. But unfortunately, there's the other side of the coin as well for Samson. His conditioning is not what it's supposed to be. I mean, I get it, we don't want guys to put themselves in danger anymore, but his conditioning is beyond that. I simply believe he's almost off, and he's opposed to Hadi Choopan, who's always the most shredded guy on stage, so that hurts Samson. Granted, it could be the tanning. I heard Fuad and DJ commenting about this aspect too, but all in all, I have to give Hadi this pose because of conditioning. Otherwise, Samson is better indeed, so a 1 point for Hadi in this pose. The front lat spread is similar. Samson looks like a statue again. He's got beautiful lines, and to point out the obvious, he's got a huge advantage with his stature over Hadi. But again, Hadi brings the details and the width now, because relative to their overall size, Hadi is wider. Now again, I want to make myself clear, if they had comparable conditioning, both front poses would have been at least 2-point standard wins for Samson Dauda. But factoring all in, both front poses are 1-point subtle wins for Hadi because Samson looks a bit off in comparison. Let's see them from the side now, and man, Samson is a big dude. And look at that chest. That's the best chest since Arnold himself, I'm telling you. But yet again, the difference in conditioning is just too much for me. And the interesting thing is that Hadi is not even at his best conditioning here. I've seen him more shredded than that. That too shows you that Samson didn't do his homework from this point of view, knowing he's going against Hadi. Maybe that's the card he's playing if the judges will consider conditioning less important, just like last year with Samson versus Nick. I can see Samson beating Hadi here. Unfortunately for Samson, Hadi is a more aesthetic guy than Nick overall, so things might be different this year. As for the pose, if they were in similar shape, Samson 2 points easily, but here, Hadi gets again the 1-point win for me. Back double biceps, allegedly the weakest pose for both of them, so who's less worse here? Things change in this back pose in the way that I don't think that Samson has a chance here anymore regardless of judges caring about conditioning too much or not. Hadi is just better, even if you don't factor conditioning, which makes it even more obvious since he's winning this aspect as well. But truth be told, in the upper body, Hadi does not show more dryness than Samson, but in the lower body, you can see the difference. Anyway, this is a 2-point win for Hadi in my opinion. The same story in the other back pose. Regardless of conditioning and anything else, Hadi is just better than Samson from the back, and Samson can't do anything about it just yet. He needs more mass on that back, much more mass. This is another 2-point win for Hadi. Side triceps, and we're back to our initial agenda. Samson is superior in terms of the overall flow. He also has the thicker lateral head of the triceps in this pose and the better chest again, which is just hanging. Hadi has the better midsection and the superior side leg details, but again, if conditioning were closer, this pose would have been Samson's in my opinion. However, factoring all in, Hadi wins 1 point again. Abs and thighs is the pose where Samson is losing no matter what, just like from the back against Hadi. The thing is that his midsection is compromised. He's got a Ronnie Coleman split going on, but at least Ronnie's split abs were defined. Having worse abs than Ronnie overall, and going against the best midsection I've seen in decades in Hadi Choopan, makes it pretty simple here. Now Samson has great quads and dominates with overall size, so I won't be making this a 3-point, but just a 2-point win for Hadi. The most muscular is an interesting case. Samson is definitely the more muscular guy in this comparison, so once again, since I don't consider his conditioning to be enough to win a major show or any other show for that matter, I can't grant him the win. And it would have been a close call anyway because Hadi has the best chest midsection combination I've ever seen in this pose, honestly. But since he's smaller overall and doesn't have the best arms and shoulders, I could see Samson win this pose. Again, if conditioning were closer, but in our case here, this is yet again a 1-point win for the Persian Wolf, almost 2 points. Now I know this looks bad for Samson, but for all the 1-point wins for Hadi, I consider Samson to be better, but he lost because of conditioning. For the other 3 poses, I believe an on Hadi will always have him beat. So yes, in my opinion, overall, Samson Dauda should not win the prejudging of this show, and since they can't do too much to drastically change this aspect for the finals, I believe Hadi should be your new Arnold Classic champion this year.